What up, party poopers? Start pooping right now. This is the only video and channel you need to watch while you're taking a dump, because I, Shizzles and Giggles, am your poop coach, and I'm here to guide you on your poop taking journey to make sure you don't take a long dump, because that would be bad for your health. At the same time, I will educate and entertain you. So what has been happening the past few days? Well, today is July 14th, Monday. It's evening time. And just a few hours ago today, the Supreme Court made a ruling that allows President Trump to try to dismantle the Department of Education. So this Supreme Court ruling allows President Trump to conduct mass layoffs at the Department of Education. And President Trump's administration plans to lay off 1,400 people. And obviously, there's always two sides to a story. In this case, supporters of President Trump will probably say that this is not an attack on education itself, but it's trying to restructure the Department of Education, because right now there's a lot of government waste in the Department of Education, and somehow if we can replace it or build a better Department of Education, then that would be a good thing. And if that was true, I think I do support that. I don't like government waste. On the other hand, people who are against this feel that it's an attack on education, right? I also believe that teachers are some of the most important people in our society. They are literally teaching our future, our kids, and they deserve to get fairly paid and to have the resources that they need to do their jobs. And yeah, it's terrible that 1,400 people are going to lose their jobs. It's really sad. At this time, we are at or near the 2-minute mark. So if you haven't made any progress on your poop taking, please stop trying. Precautionarily wipe your butt, maybe precautionarily flush, and get up and move on with your day. If you are making progress on your poop taking, your turtle head has popped out, your turtle head has popped out, then let's continue. All right, so what else is President Trump, has he been up to? Again, same old story. There's a little bit of tension between him and the Federal Reserve Chair, Jerome Powell. So Jerome Powell currently there are renovations going on at the central bank's building. And these renovations are going to cost billions of taxpayer dollars. So the White House, President Trump's administration, is pressuring Jerome Powell, saying, why are you spending so much money on these renovations? And Jerome Powell has hired an inspector general to check out if these costs are legitimate. However, at the end of the day, the fact is there's a lot of pressure right now for Jerome Powell to be fired or for him to resign as the Federal Reserve's chair. And again, the Federal Reserve, the central bank, is not really federal, even though the name is Fed. It's supposed to be an independent entity separate from the federal government. They're supposed to be in charge of interest rates, which kind of determines how much the rate at which banks can lend to other people, and which determines how well the stock markets will do, and it has a bunch of financial consequences, including inflation. You know, when interest rates are dropped, usually there's more investment, there's more cash flow in society, in American society, in our American economy, but at the same time that causes inflation. And if you've been watching my previous videos, you'll know that President Trump has been pressuring Jerome Powell to cut interest rates for a while now, even though he has not. So speaking of other tensions, there are global tensions in the world. President Trump is threatening, his relationship with Russian President Vladimir Putin is not as good as it seemed to be in the past. Currently, President Trump has given Russia a 50-day kind of ultimatum. If a peace deal isn't signed in 50 days, President Trump has threatened very high taxes, tariffs against Russia. Supposedly, I don't know for sure, but supposedly 100% tariffs do your own research. Furthermore, European allies have decided to buy American military equipment and send it over to Ukraine. And we are at or near the 5-minute mark, so please stop pooping, please wipe your butt, please flush, and get up and move on with your day. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, poop heads. Till next time.